Hola, bienvenidos. Welcome to the Good Expat Podcast. Here, you discover how to learn Spanish effectively, develop a confident mindset, and build meaningful relationship with the locals so you can embrace and enjoy your new life in Spain the right way. I'm your host, Coach Jaime, and this is what's coming up in today's episode.
And it has happened to me many times already. Somebody says, oh, I'm not able to do this. For example, I'm not able to integrate. I can't integrate. And they have this blockage of saying, I can't integrate. I can't learn Spanish, for example. I've heard it already countless times. I can't learn Spanish. I don't know how to learn Spanish. And then after 10 weeks, I just look at them and say, do you remember that 10 weeks ago you said, I can't learn Spanish? We've just had a 20-minute conversation in Spanish. They look at me wide-eyed and say, whoa, I can learn Spanish. I can do it. And it's all about what we believe about ourselves.
Before today's episode, I'd like to invite you to my weekly Intro to Spanish workshop, where I'll show you how to learn Spanish and integrate in Spain while saving time, money, and effort. I want to guide you through my 6-step process that will help you choose the right way to learn Spanish for you, speed up your integration process by up to 55%, and avoid the 12 most common mistakes that I see expats often making in Spain. It's fun, it's interactive, and in just 60 minutes, you'll learn what would otherwise take you months to figure out on your own, even if you're already studying with a teacher. Would you like to join me live and 100% for free? Simply head over to ablaacademy.com/workshop. That's ablaacademy.com/workshop, or simply scan the QR code that you can see on your screen. And now, back to today's episode. Who is a coach? And in particular, what's the difference between a Spanish coach and a Spanish teacher? And what does a Spanish coaching program look like inside? In this episode, I'll be answering these questions to help you understand this option in comparison to the traditional learning methods that you're probably more familiar with, like apps and tutors, right? And for that, today I'm bringing in a special guest to answer all these questions. Hola y bienvenido, Don Paco.
Muchas gracias, Jaime.
Paco is not only a professional life coach, but Paco is also ABLA Academy's head coach. So, and I think it's very, very relevant to talk to you, to have this conversation with you today, because you come from, you are, in my eyes, 100% a coach, and that you're coming into languages where I come from languages, and I'm stepping into coaching, no? So, ¿qué tal, Paco?
Muy bien.
How long have we known each other?
Well, I think it's been over a year now. Been roughly over a year. Year and a half, I would say.
Something like that. And do you remember what was the process for you to come in contact with ABLA Academy and me and everything? Do you remember?
I do remember. It was kind of a strange thing because I was trying to see what to do, what I could do, what opportunities I could have. I was starting in my coaching enterprise. I was starting to learn what coaching was. I was trying to build up what I would do as a coach. And I remember I was just randomly looking through LinkedIn, and I saw you in LinkedIn, and I found it very interesting what you had to offer, what you were offering with ABLA Academy. And I was coming from being a teacher full-time to suddenly transitioning to be a coach. And I was wondering to myself, what is the difference between being a coach and being a teacher? I was specialized in teaching languages, but I was kind of tired of the way and the systems that were in place before. And I wanted to discover and explore something new. And I remember that I was just trying to connect with you. You asked me for a video about myself. And I remember I was traveling, very difficult for me to try to get the video, trying to make it look professional. And I was just in the point where I said, that's it, I'm just going to do a video, just be myself, and that's it. I sent to you some trouble trying to get you to get the video, finally got it. And then you said you found it very interesting, and you wanted to get to know me. So I said, let's go for it. And I'm always up for new adventures and new opportunities and trying to see what life is going to bring. And the combining the languages with the coaching was something that was very interesting for me because I had never thought about it. And the moment that I started to see what ABLA was doing, and I started to see what I could do as well as a coach in ABLA, that was completely new for me and absolutely incredible.
Awesome. And you know what? It's funny because I began looking for teachers who had coaching interests, not perhaps experience. But I remember when I interviewed those previous teachers. So, what books do you read? Have you attended any seminars or any workshops or any? I don't know. Just trying to see if we could find that kind of self development connection. And they would tell me, yes, I read that, but it's not. I mean, no. There's something about a coach that coaches speak in a particular way, it's all very
Yeah.
profound and emotions and vision and stuff like that. And when you and then I remember thinking of switching the strategies. Oh, well, let me look for a coach who speak languages and is comfortable. Maybe it's got that expat experience, and then I can show my method and I can explain what my philosophy is and train them in my method. And then you came along. Obviously, I was really happy that you and I look kind of similar.
Yeah.
And I always point that out. It's like, well, if you had been blonde or like a woman, it would have been much more of a contrast. But hey, we look the
Yeah.
same. It's kind of two versions of the same experience.
Yeah. That is true. And what was also interesting for me was the fact that, as you say about the expats, I've been an expat myself many times. I've lived in the UK, grew up in the UK, hence my English. That's why I speak English so well. I've also lived in Germany, lived in Italy, lived in France, always kind of being an expat and trying to avoid that expat bubble, always struggling with that expat bubble, trying to get rid of being always there with the same kind of people. And it's funny that I recently had a visit from a friend from Bucharest,
Mm.
and he was telling me how surprised he was that I was always hanging out with the Germans because when I went to Germany, that's where I met him. And he was like, "Yeah, remember, dude, you were always with the Germans. Always had German friends. We were always with the expats. We were always with the Erasmus students, the international people. You were always with the Germans."
Mm.
And he was joking around because I still conserve my German. I still speak some German, whereas he's completely forgot about it because he never tried to get involved with the German people.
So I suppose that's what resonated with you, because that's what ABLA Academy stands
Absolutely.
for, no? That integration, that doing the right thing and participating and not and stepping out of the comfort zone just to connect. Huh?
Exactly. That's something I loved, and it's also something that I have some tips and ideas that I'm always wondering. I wish I had known this before. I wish I had known this when I was an expat. By the time that I came back to Spain several times, feeling like a true expat because I didn't fit in with the Spanish people, but I didn't fit in with the international people. So I always had that kind of a struggle of finding myself in a new country as an expat. And I've been discovering ways of coping with it. And I was always wondering, I wish I had known this before. So what I love is being able to help other people go through that journey and say, you're not alone. I understand. I've been there. That's why I have the authority to be able to tell you that's what you have to do. I'm not just somebody who's read a book and tried to replicate what I've read, but I've actually lived it first. I've learned it, and now I'm here to help you through that journey.
And that's what, in my opinion, that's what a mentor is. And apart, maybe today's episode about coaching, but a mentor is somebody who's experienced something before the newcomer, and then you can say, this is the right way, this is the wrong way, this is what I experienced, this is what I've seen, and I give you suggestions to avoid those mistakes or to make the most out of it. Huh?
But I also love the coaching approach, which is extremely close to mentoring. So a lot of
Yep.
times when you're coaching, you have to be careful not to mix the mentoring in and to be able to make that difference. Because with coaching, I am an expert. I'm an expert in what I do, but I'm not an expert in your journey. You have a particular journey that only you understand. And what I do as a coach, I guide you through that journey and I reflect back and I help you grow through that process, which is something that I love of what we do, that we combine those two things. We help people go through that journey.
And you already know how much of a at a business level and a personal level, how much of a struggle it's been for me to condense what we do here. I remember having that conversation where we are coaches, or we are mentors, we are integration, we are like blah, blah, and coming up with these very words that for you and I make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that words are I don't have the card here on this particular screen, but when I introduce myself or on my email signature, Spanish coach, integration mentor. Okay, but if you know me, but when somebody meets me for the first time, I introduce myself as a Spanish teacher plus life coach. I'm kind of giving you these very broad terms for you to try to understand the scope of what we are covering here. That's why I wanted to have this conversation with you today, so we can, for once and for all, explain to anybody who is not used to, or never heard, or is not, or that doesn't know how a coach fits into languages, how to combine this idea. So first of all, I'd like you to explain what a coach does generally, life, business, sports, whatever. How would you describe that?
A coach is a person who is guiding you through the journey, who knows more or less the intricacies of what is going on and acts like a mirror to what is going on, what is happening. So a lot of times we grow with a coach, not necessarily because they are the best athletes. For example, in sports coaching, it doesn't mean they're the best athletes, but they're the best at observing what you do, the mistakes that you make, and how to correct them. So it doesn't mean that he's perfect at doing it himself. A lot of times, sports coaches are not necessarily perfect athletes, but they're the perfect ones to watch what you're doing and understand the process you're going through. And a business coach knows what you're going through. He knows your ideas. He can take your ideas, reflect it back and say, okay, this is what you're saying. And you say, oh, no, not exactly. Okay, then what are you saying? I'm saying this. Okay, so this and this and this is what you're doing. Yes. Okay, let's put it into practice. And as a life coach, it's something that is very interesting because it's not just reduced to the business area. It's not just reduced to teamwork area, but we do a lot of groundwork of who we are in our life. So a life coach can work, whether it be in business or can work for personal life, personal growth. I do a lot of identity work. So I help people understand who they are in themselves. So what I'm doing is just reflecting back what they say. And it has happened to me many times already. Somebody says, oh, I'm not able to do this. For example, I'm not able to integrate. I can't integrate. And they have this blockage of saying, I can't integrate. I can't learn Spanish, for example. I've heard it already countless times. I can't learn Spanish. I don't know how to learn Spanish. And then after 10 weeks, I just look at them and say, do you remember that 10 weeks ago you said, I can't learn Spanish? We've just had a 20-minute conversation in Spanish. They look at me wide-eyed and say, whoa, I can learn Spanish. I can do it. And it's all about what we believe about ourselves. As an expat, you try Duolingo, you try language apps, you try to do things on your own. And that's the difficulty. You can't do it on your own because a language is not just a bunch of words. It's not just grammar that I mush together and I put it all together and that's language. And that's how I speak. And you can speak a perfect English the English of William Shakespeare, nobody's going to understand. You're going to go to Manchester, you're going to find Mancunians, and then you're going to be, what is going on? What is that? Then you're going to go to Liverpool, and people are going to start speaking, and you, oh, what's this? Then you're going to go to York, and you won't understand. Then you go to Glasgow, and you don't understand, because each person is using different words for different expressions, talking about the same thing. Mm-hmm. In Spain, it happens exactly the same. You go to Andalusia, and people start speaking in a certain way with a certain kind of dialect, and you don't know what they're saying. You go to Valencia, and suddenly you're encountering Catalan. And then you suddenly go to País Vasco, and you encounter Euskera. And people speak different. What we do as Spanish coaches is we integrate them into the culture, but it doesn't mean that we are experts in the culture. It means we know how to help them through that to experience it. And then we put a challenge, things that people don't normally think of. Go to the mechanic. How can you talk to the mechanic? Oh, your car broke down. What are you going to say? Oh, I'm going to try this. And we put them in situations and we push them in a way that nobody else would do otherwise. That is the beauty of being a coach. You push people to situations, you encourage them through situations. A teacher has a curriculum. A teacher has something that person needs to learn. A teacher guides the person through that learning, but it's a very specific learning. And as a teacher, you need to know more or less what you're teaching. As a coach, it doesn't mean that I have to know. I can be oblivious to your situation, but I can help you through situations because of what you're telling me. So if we start to get to know each other, you tell me I have a car and the car broke down, I know that I have to push you through the situation. What's going to happen in the mechanic? If you tell me I have kids, so I have to push you through the situation. You're going to school. You're going to talk to the teachers. What's going to happen talking to the teachers? What's going to happen talking to the parents? And I encourage you through those situations to go into that. But I'm not going to be the one teaching you. I'm the one accompanying you, helping you, mirroring back, and pushing you to go forwards.
Do you feel that that coaching is for everybody? Or you think that some people are not ready for coaching?
I think you need to be ready to change. And you need to be ready to be pushed into new situations. And you just need to dive into the deep end. I think that every person needs coaching at a certain point in their life, but it doesn't mean that they're always ready for that situation. So it doesn't mean that at any point they can go through coaching. There are times with clients where I've just had to wait for them to be ready for the push that I need to give them. And I also need to feel how they are doing as a coach. That is part of my responsibility as a coach, where I need to be careful to know, where is this person at? How far can I push this person? And how far can I push them through the learning? So it's not just the teaching aspects of knowing what they know, what they don't know, testing what they know and what they don't, but it's also pushing them into new situations, but where they can have success. And the person needs to be ready to be pushed. The person needs to be ready to encounter those situations without being afraid. If I push someone too far, I can break them, and I can get them more afraid of coming out of their bubble. But if I push them just enough, then they're able to go into success. And they need to be ready to be pushed. They need to be ready for the challenges. If they're not ready for it, and they're not in the correct environment, correct situation, then I can't help them.
And I suppose they need to be ready, and they need to be vulnerable enough to ask for help, and to reach out, and to share the fact that they cannot that cannot handle or that cannot overcome that situation on their own. They don't have the tools, the capacity, the skills, this mental space to deal with that situation. I like us to be a bit more tangible here, just in case somebody is listening and it's like we're getting a bit too coachy here. No push situations. No, let's bring it down to language. Spain, expats, integrating, right? For example, I was having this conversation with this new client where second lesson, right? Very beginner. So what do you do today? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? And then she cannot block herself. So I push her. I show her how to put things together, how to string words together, and to produce a bit of a idea. But then she's like, no, I don't know. So she kind of created that barrier, and that's the push that we're here for, to see her, to show our clients, our students, that there's an alternative way to what they believe it's possible.
Yeah.
No?
And it's also trying to get them to understand that it's okay to make mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because a lot of times we try to be perfect, and we commit the sin of being perfectionists. And I arrive to a country and I expect to be perfect. And funny thing is, locals don't expect expats to be perfect. They're actually surprised when they make things correctly. When I lived in Italy and I was starting to speak proper Italian, and I would speak Italian, Italians would think that I was Italian myself. And then I'd say, no, I'm actually Spanish. And they'd be shocked and say, wow, how can you speak so well Italian? And in Germany, trying to speak correctly and trying to formulate the sentence correctly, Germans would be shocked, like, why are you trying so hard? And I always be like, yeah, I want to learn, I want to integrate, I want to do things correctly. And they'd always be like, don't worry, we understand. It's okay. And they'd be so happy just to see me try. And that's what we forget, that we just need to try. We just need to try to make mistakes. And if we make a mistake, the person is going to be so happy, they're going to correct us, and they're going to be happy to correct us. It's not going to be a problem, but we try to make it so perfect and speak the language so perfect already with every single nuance correct. But locals don't even speak correctly. Locals make a lot of mistakes. They have a lot of cultural aspects in the language, and we forget about it, that we don't need to be perfect. We need to be able to be vulnerable. We need to be able to accept, I don't know how to say this, I need help. And to ask a local, how do you say this? And just start pointing and start saying and showing, and use your phone and maybe show a picture and how do you say this? And ask for help. And the moment that we come out of our bubble, that's the moment we're going to start to learn. When we're vulnerable and we can just go for it. I remember a client who was into paddle, loved paddle, discovered it in Spain, but was doing paddle with expats, with English-speaking people. And I told this person, go for a Spanish tournament. Oh, well, I don't know. He came back the next lesson and he was like, dude, I need the language. I don't know how to play with them. And we just started working through the language of paddle. That would not have come if that person would have just stuck with going to the English-speaking ones. But this person was vulnerable enough to say, I need the language. He came to the next game, forgot a couple words, and he just started laughing, and the people were helping him, teaching him the words. After a while, this person came to me, hey, I've learned a new word. And our lessons were just new words he was learning. He was growing because he came out of the bubble. That's the key. To be vulnerable, to know, I don't know how to do it. I need help. I need to be pushed. And the moment that I'm pushed, then I can start running. But before I can run, I need to learn how to walk. So I need to be able to get someone that I'm accountable to. The same person came to me several times. Oh, I haven't done the exercises, or I've been back to the English speaking paddle because it was easier, and it was okay. I pushed this person again to go to the Spanish one, and that's the key of coaching: to be pushed in the right measure. I'm never going to try to push someone beyond their abilities and beyond what they're going to accept. I'm putting challenges. I challenge you to do this. I challenge you to go to this other place. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. It's still okay. Let's try something new. With someone, I tried supermarket, go to the supermarket, didn't work. It's okay. It's not a failure. It's just learning process. It's part of the learning curve.
And I wonder what the experience would be like if that person was working with a traditional Spanish teacher instead of working with you. What support could have got that person from a traditional Spanish teacher in that situation? What do you think?
Well, I think this traditional Spanish teacher creates the situations that they're comfortable with, and they have the topics that they're comfortable with. And traditional Spanish teaching goes with the European framework of languages, and they have to teach a certain content for A1, certain content for A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. And the contents go with the different topics. And there is a vocabulary that it's already structured and it's already there, and anybody can teach that. But Spanish coaching is totally different. Spanish coaching is not just, I give you something that's already set. I don't prepare you for an exam. You're not going to do an exam perfectly well. You might not even be able to pass the exam. But I know that friends of mine from the UK, if I give them a B2 English test or a B1 English test, I know they're going to fail. I know. Because part of the grammar, they make so many grammar mistakes, but everybody understands them. And it's okay. That's the traditional learning methods of learning the perfect grammar. Nobody speaks like that. I don't speak like that in Spanish. While I'm teaching Spanish, I suddenly get corrected by students and I'm like, oh, wait, oh, yeah, you're right. That's not the right way of saying it. But as a coach, it doesn't matter. We're just talking. We're just having a chat between friends. And I'm just encouraging you to go into different situations by what you tell me. So one thing that is very different from Spanish teaching to Spanish coaching, there needs to be a rapport that we create, and there needs to be a trust that we need to build. I need to know about you. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about me so that there is this fluency in the communication, that we create a trust. There is not a barrier between you and me. There is not teachers, students, but we more become friends, and I help you through it, with the difference that we're not complete friends and you can do whatever. I'm still your coach, but there's a rapport. There is a rapport that we create, that I can get to know you, to know what's interesting for you, what's important for you, and I can help you through that journey. That for me is the key.
I find that the process in which I put new students through to enroll in our program, I really need to test them. I need to see what kind of person they are, and if our goals are aligned. Because I feel that what we do here is very personal. We are really, sometimes I've had students crying because they were embarrassed or they were stuck and they were frustrated, and then family and business, and there's always some problem coming up during the program. Always, there's always something happening big. So it's not just showing up. I show you some words and you go. No, to me this is a very intimate process, and we are. They're part. I'm part of their lives, and I'm helping them in this very important process. No, so yeah, for sure, it's a much more. It's a closer relationship that I feel that with a teacher. And like you well said, perhaps teachers focus mostly on the what. That's the way I see it. It's more this is what you get. These are the words. That's the expressions. These are the tenses. Whereas we, as coaches, we focus on the on the how you feel about it, no?
Yeah.
But I don't care if you're not perfect. It's how you feel speaking. If it's like 3 words, do you feel good? Did the other person get it? Are you smiling? Let's
Yeah.
go. You're definitely gonna fail on a standard B2 test, whatever. It's cool. You're definitely, but you're gonna have more friends. They're gonna like you more, and you're gonna have a social circle better than the other student who's only studying grammar and whatnot. Huh?
You know, being a little bit coachy here, the traditional Spanish learning methods, they concentrate on the what you're learning. We concentrate on the who you are. So it's in the terms of the International Coaching Federation, they talk about coaching the what and the who. The what is the circumstance, the who is the person. We concentrate on the person. We concentrate on you being able to progress, on you realizing, hey, I can do this. Hey, I can break that bubble. Hey, I can go beyond what people are just doing regularly. No, I had a client who had a baby during the course and suddenly was very motivated to learn Spanish, saying, dude, what if I take my baby to school and I don't understand the teachers? And then suddenly baby was in kindergarten, in the nursing school, in the nursery, and they want to talk to my wife. Hey, I'm the dad. I need to talk to the teachers. And that we started kind of pushing him towards being able to talk to the teachers. There was a motivation. There was something that went beyond just what the program was teaching, beyond the words, the simple words that he had to learn, but going to the point of, I want to be integrated. I want to be one more in Spain. I want to be more than just somebody who knows Spanish. I want to live in Spain and be a good Spaniard, because that in the end is what we do. We help people integrate and we help them be more Spanish. They don't have to be Spanish, but they integrate more. And then we end up finding them that they come up with sentences and expressions. And we say, where'd you learn that? Oh, yeah, I went to the bar with a friend and he was telling me this expression. And that is the key of what we do. We help them integrate. We help them break the bubble, break who they are, not just an expat, but be Spanish, be integrated.
Not sure if you've noticed the name of the podcast. I'm kind of throwing you into this, and I'm sure you've got questions. But if you've noticed, the name of this podcast is called The Good Expat, because that's exactly what this space is for, to motivate, to show, to direct, to guide towards that direction that you just said, no, of integration and becoming in one with your new environment here in Spain.
Yeah.
Well, mira, Paco, I'd like to share with you, and this is brand new to you. I'd like to share with you my new the system in which I have laid out the new coaching program. So this is gonna be new for you or new for everybody watching at home. Boom. Well, Paco, I've simplified the program. Before, our method was called the 4C method, and I was focusing on different areas of the process. But this is it's got a complete revamp. The program is not called The Key to Spain. It's called Confident Spanish. And feel free to ask me any questions that you want. As I tell you, I'm very excited. I've been preparing for this for a long time to share it with you. Huh? So the name of the program is Confident Spanish, because I feel that's what they need. That's the kind of support that our clients need. It's not just the language; it's the how. Huh? Now I figured that our clients have 3 major problems. There are 3 major challenges that they face. One is that they feel stuck. not knowing what to say. They don't have enough what to say. They don't have enough vocabulary. They don't have enough verbs, and that's why when it's moment to speak, they can't really produce. The second one, they feel like nervous, shy, insecure, embarrassed 3 years old.
Yeah.
Right. They can't really, they get to the situation with the neighbors, but maybe even after already learning some words, maybe they have some, but they can't produce them.
Yeah.
And the third problem that I feel that they have is that they feel like isolated tourists or disconnected. Yeah. I hear the word tourist. I'm working with Matt, a captain now. He told me that I feel like a tourist after living in Ibiza for 3 years. No?
Yeah.
So it's a disconnection with the locals. So the way I've laid out the program is like this. Right. So from stuck, we're going to help our clients speak. From feeling nervous and shy and insecure, what we're going to make them is be themselves. And from feeling isolated, we're going to help them turn connected.
Integrate.
Connected, yeah. And now this is the result of each area. And how are we gonna do this? Now let's be more specific. We're gonna break down this in 2 sections. One is the foundation, and second one is conversation. So on the foundation, it's really looking at their daily study plan in Notion, at that super personalized calendar where our clients show up. They know exactly what to do. Then they got the video lessons, the quizzes, the assignments, the flashcards vocabulary app to learn everything at home still in those 20 to 30 minutes at home. But this really focuses on on revising at home. So that in our sessions, on our one-on-one sessions, we can only focus in conversation. So now the way I divide a 60-minute session with us is literally 45 minutes chat, and then I leave 10 minutes for homework, coaching, commenting. But I've learned to not even interrupt. I make notes on my iPad, and then I share the screen. Around this time, I share my screen with all the mistakes, all the comments, all the observations. But here, it's just fluency training. Just allow them to get on a flow and experiment. I'm asking questions, but it's really. I felt that perhaps I was interrupting too much, trying to teach or to coach too much in between. Now it's all separate. You learn, come and practice. Does this make sense?
Makes all the sense in the world. I love it.
Muy bien. Now moving on to the coaching part. This is the teaching, the learning part. No, this is perhaps the part that a teacher would cover. No, but now we go to the coaching, to the mindset side. Here. Those the immersion challenges that every unit came with.
Yep.
In Canvas. Now I've taken them off Canvas and I've put them inside a private Facebook group for the clients, and I've turned those challenges into video lessons, so I can go a little bit more in depth with the challenges and those ideas. And one of the work that I'm creating to help them is to really look closer at the insecurities. So there's like 2 or 3 challenges, 2 or 3 weekly challenges looking at the insecurities, to look them, to turn them, to deal with them, to recognize them, how to show up with more confidence, the tonality, the body language. Vale? And of course, all these new challenges that our clients experience in Spain, they're brand new to them. And I feel that the only way we can teach them how to turn them, how to overcome them, but I think that the main thing that will keep them focused and will keep them motivated to overcome all those fears and insecurities is having a strong vision. And that's the first thing that we do on day one, is really break down their visions for the self, the family, the business, what they commit, what they promise to do. So it's very, very visually for them, and they have access to reach out to this element anytime, so they can really connect with why they're doing this, right? So and I help them. It comes up all the time during the lessons. Okay, do you remember why we're here? Yes. Remember that you're going that way, that direction? It's true. Okay. Right.
That is a very important part.
That it's not just about, okay, these are your insecurities, okay, but why do you want to get over them? Why do you want to overcome them and superarlas, no? And then on the social element, we have created this another extended version of how to create a Spanish team. So this is step number 5. Step number 6, immersion. So to help them go from feeling isolated to a bit more connected, they have this whole couple of challenges to help them build help them burst the expat bubble, build a Spanish team. And there's a whole completely new challenge for creating a listening routine. And I'm sharing lots of resources so they can choose from podcasts and radios and Instagram accounts to create that immersion effect. So what this system, what we managed to do is to help our clients to know what to say. They have the balls to say it, and they build a network of locals to say it too. This is what the new Confident Spanish 10-week program looks like now.
That is wonderful. It's really, really good. I think this really reflects the coaching part and makes it very different to just teaching. Makes it really be coaches who are helping people learn.
You and I know what we're doing here. And the challenge is to inspire and to help understand a regular person that perhaps doesn't have this background, the potential of this level of support, because they're used to what they see all the time, teachers for 25 euros and books and PDFs and all these Instagram girls sharing loads of videos, abrir, cerrar, comprar, kind of thing. But this is a next level support that I think when I break it down on this triangle shape, it's very clear. And I'm doing a weekly live workshop that is working quite well. I've got an ad running and people are coming, where I take the students through this 6-step process to help them understand everything that is necessary to go from when they are to being a good expat. Right? You have the okay. I cannot tell them that they can go from here to being an okay expat, where they're okay ordering food or saying good morning to the neighbor. Cool. All they need is learning. But if you really want to integrate and be fluent and be confident, but you have the mindset element and the integration element. So it's a bit of a longer journey that requires a bit more support, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Welcome to Confident Spanish. I've been meaning to show you this for quite some time.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I will have to create some trainings for you to show you the new elements and whatnot. But yeah, this is what we have at the moment. We also I've created a online assessment where I help anybody who's feeling stuck or a little bit frustrated with the situation to answer 15 questions, and they get 3 different scores in the language skills in their mindset and integration, just following the process of covering all the area. The ebook has transformed from being learn Spanish faster to learn Spanish smarter, because I feel that most people learning Spanish the hard way. What else did I have here? I've been working a lot of stuff here. I've created a new Facebook group, a new Facebook community group. And what else? And then this podcast to give all the coaches support in the world. What else does the people need from us, Paco?
I think it's very exciting what is going on, and it's very exciting the things that are growing. I think we're going in a really good direction. So I'm very happy with this.
I decided to go all in during this summer. I went through a bit of a period where I was struggling to connect with my message and with my identity, with my vision, with my purpose. But it wasn't until the idea of the good expat came to me that everything kind of clicked, because that's what we are. I think that's what that's what we are helping here with ABLA Academy. They might have never, maybe our clients have never expressed that I want to be a good expert, but it comes up checking my notes. That's a comment. I want to do the right thing. I want to do this because I think it's the right thing. So obviously they know what's right and what's wrong, and in order to enjoy the full experience, learning some words and some grammar is not enough, because not everybody has the capacity. That's where coaching comes in.
Yeah. And I mean, I've also seen some people who speak very fluent and perfect Spanish grammatically, but they don't really get what goes on. They don't really get how to be integrated, and they end up with friends that are just expats. So you can speak perfect Spanish, but that doesn't mean you're going to be integrated. Doesn't mean that you're going to know how to integrate. And I think that's where we come in. Mm-hmm. That's why I find it so exciting.
Paco, remember, this is the method. I want you to remember. I want you to go home with this in your mind. We help our clients learn what to say, have the balls to say it, and have locals to say it too.
Yeah.
So simple. Nobody's ever thought about this before.
That is where we make a difference.
Exactly.
That is where we are different to other groups and teachers. So Paco, that's what I find exciting.
You know, I've told you this before. It's for me, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the team and to be a part of the ABLA family. You've shown today that you are a super professional, and that you've grown so much in your journey as a coach, which you've been on for a while now, and that you've invested doing programs and courses and learning and experimenting. Huh? So from my side, it's a pleasure to have you here, and it's an honor to be doing this with you right now and to have you in such early stages of this new project like the podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be on board, and excited to see what's going to come. And looking forward to the future.
Venga, tío. Hablamos. Hey friend, I know exactly what it feels like to leave it all behind with the intention of bringing more abundance into my life. And I 100% understand that settling down in a new country isn't easy at all, especially when there is a language barrier and cultural differences. I know this very well because I'm an experienced expat, having lived in 5 different countries and currently learning my 4th language. So you can completely be assured that my coaching program called Confident Spanish has been created to help you overcome the most common challenges in your language learning and integration process in Spain. So you never get stuck speaking, feel like a nervous 3 years old, or live like an isolated tourist. And guess what? You don't have to do this all on your own now. Confident Spanish can help you improve your Spanish conversations and build stronger connections with the locals without heavy grammar or disrupting your busy schedule. And this month, I'm opening 5 spots to work with me. So if you're a good expat living in Spain who wants to feel more free and in control when speaking Spanish with neighbors, doctors, and school teachers within 10 weeks, apply to join Confident Spanish today by simply scanning the QR code you see on the screen right now, or by clicking on the link you'll find on the description of this episode. Hablamos muy pronto.